The Lunchbox is a 2013 Indian epistolary romantic film written and directed by Ritesh Batra, and produced by Guneet Monga, Anurag Kashyap, and Arun Rangachari. The film was jointly produced by various studios including Dharma Motion Pictures, UTV Motion Pictures, Dharma Productions, Sikhya Entertainment, NFDC, ROH Films, ASAP Films, and the Cine Mosaic. It stars Irrfan Khan, Nimrat and Nawazuddin Siddiqui in lead roles. The film was screened at International Critics Week at the 2013 Cannes Film Festival, and later won the Critics Week Viewers' Choice Award, also known as Grand Rail d'Or. It was shown at the 2013 Toronto International Film Festival. The film was released in India on September 20, 2013. The film has done well at the box office. Plot synopsis: Sarjan is a lonely accountant about to retire from his job. Isla is a young wife seeking her husband's attention, looking for ways to put romance back in her marriage, and tries to cook her way to her husband's heart. A neighbor who lives in the apartment above her gives her advice on cooking and marriage through shouted instructions. Through a rare mix-up of the famous dabawalas, a complicated system that picks up and delivers lunches from restaurants or homes to men at work, of Mumbai, the lunchbox with the delicious food Isla prepared for her husband instead gets delivered to widower Sarjan. When the lunch containers are delivered back to Isla empty, she is happy, thinking her husband had enjoyed her cooking. When she questioned him, he did not seem to think much of it. Realizing the mistake of the delivery, she writes a note to the recipient of her lunch thanking him for enjoying the food and sends him her husband's favorite meal the following day. Sarjan replies saying that the food was salty. Upon advice from her neighbor, who believes the lunch went to Isla's husband, she responds by using hot chili in a lunch that turns out to be so spicy that Sarjan resorts to eating bananas to help cool off his mouth. An exchange of the messages sent back and forth with the lunches ignites a friendship between Sarjan and Isla, who share memories and thoughts in notes passed back and forth in the lunch pails. Meanwhile, Sarjan deals with a young employee, Sheikh. He is supposed to train to replace him when he retires. Sheikh appears immature, annoying, lazy and irresponsible. On her end, Isla feels her husband is very remote. He not only complains about her food, but she finds out he is having an affair. Also, she supports her mother as her father suffers from lung cancer. As Sarjan and Sheikh get to know each other, Sheikh reveals that he is an orphan and has worked in several places, including Saudi Arabia. He is currently living with his girlfriend. As he rides the train home each day after work, he chops vegetables for their dinner on his portfolio. As Sarjan trains Sheikh, he has told him what to do and left him on his own, but Sheikh had bluffed his way into the job and many mistakes come to the attention of the boss, who calls both of them into his office, puzzled that, after decades of service with never a mistake, so much had gone wrong. He chastises Sarjan but tells Sheikh to leave. Sarjan takes the blame for all that has gone wrong and saves Sheikh's job. This act moves Sarjan and Sheikh to have a true friendship, prompting Sheikh to invite Sarjan to dinner at his home with his girlfriend and asking him to be his best man in his wedding, since he has no one else to stand up for him and no family. In their correspondence through the lunch containers, Isla mentions that Bhutan is a poor but happy and beautiful place where the cost of living is much less than India. Sarjan contemplates moving there with her upon his retirement and writes back asking if she will be ready to move to Bhutan with him. Isla writes back saying they should meet and suggests a popular food joint. She is there at the appointed time but Sarjan doesn't turn up. A dejected Isla sends an empty lunch box the next day. Sarjan writes to her saying that he did arrive, but did not meet her because he saw how young and beautiful she is and considered himself too old for her and advises her to move on. Isla's father dies and as his body is taken away, Isla's mother confesses to her that she had been unhappy for most of her marriage. This helps Isla to feel released. She decides to search for Sarjan by asking the address where the dabawalas sent her food and goes to Sarjan's office to meet him, but there she learns that he has retired and headed to Nashik. Isla writes a last message saying farewell to Sarjan, announcing that she will leave her husband and go to Bhutan. The movie comes to an end with Surajan returning from Nashik and going in search of Isla with the Dabbawalas song being played in the background. Cast: Irrfan Khan as Surajan Fernandez, Nimrat as Isla, Nawazuddin Siddiqui as Sheikh, Danzeel Smith as Mr. Shroff Bharati Akka as Mrs. Deshpande Nakul Vade as Rajiv, Isla's husband, Yashvi Punate Nagar, Lily Dubey as Isla's mother. Production, development, Ritesh Batra, who had made short films, The Morning Ritual, Garib Nawaz Ki Taxi and Cafe Regular, Cairo, started researching for a documentary on the famous Lunchbox delivery system of Mumbai, Dabbawala, known for their efficiency. However, after spending a week with them in 2007, he got to know of many interesting personal stories they would overhear while waiting outside an apartment. This idea gave birth to the idea of the film, and instead of making the documentary he began writing a film script. In time the film became joint production between Sikhya Entertainment, DAR Motion Pictures, National Film Development Corporation of India, ROH Films, Germany, ASAP Films, France and the Cine Mosaic, US of Lydia Dean Pilcher, who previously produced films like The Talented Mr. Ripley and The Namesake, and Germany's Match Factory became its international sales agent. Writing: Batra completed the first draft of the screenplay in 2011. He was assisted by Rutwik Oza. It went on to win an honorable jury mention at the 2012 Cinemat at the Rotterdam International Film Festival. Thereafter the project was part of the Talent Project Market of Berlin International Film Festival and was mentored at the Screenwriters Lab at the Torino Film Festival. The character of Isla played by Nimrat, 6 months prior to the shooting, and the character played by Nawazuddin Siddiqui was further developed and improvised during shooting. Casting: Irrfan Khan liked the script of the film and the concept of his character, not speaking much but talking through notes. After seeing Batra's short film and a couple of meetings he agreed to act in the film. Batra wanted to work with Nawazuddin Siddiqui, another principal character of the film, for a long time. For the female lead, auditions were conducted, wherein Nimrat was selected. Kaur had extensive experience at the Mumbai Theatre and worked in films like Peddlers. Some of the Dabbawalas who the director befriended while researching for the film, also have been cast in minor roles. Filming: the film was shot in 2012 in Mumbai at a budget of to the first 100 million. Prior to the filming, the cast rehearsed for 6 months. It was shot using the Alexa digital film camera. Many of the scenes were logistically broken down to make way for last-minute location changes. Mumbai's famous Dabbawalas were provided actual lunch boxes to deliver, were followed by a 4-member film crew, which filmed the process in documentary style. Release and reception: screenings and film festivals. The film was screened on May 19, 2013 as a part of the International Critics Week at the 2013 Cannes Film Festival, where it received a standing ovation and positive reviews and won the Critics Week Viewers' Choice Award, also known as Grand Rail d'Or. Variety called it a notable debut from Tyro Helmer scripter, for creating a film with crossover appeal of Monsoon Wedding, and also praised acting of Irrfan Khan in Nimrat. Thereafter, Sony Pictures Classics picked up all North American rights for distribution. In India, this film was released in more than 400 screens on September 20, 2013. Box office: the Lunchbox grossed it to the first 71 million in its first weekend of release in India, and it to the first 110 million in its first week. The film continued to gross significant amounts over the next few weeks, earning over a to the first 200 million in the first 3 weeks and another estimated to the first 40-50 lakhs on its 4th weekend. It became 2014's highest-grossing foreign film in the United States. As of June 12, 2014, a film's U.S. collection stands at $4.06 million. As of May 28, 2014, a film's worldwide collection stands at 84.92 crore. Critical reception: upon release, The Lunchbox received widespread critical acclaim. The review aggregator Rotten Tomatoes gave the film a score of 95% based on reviews from 87 critics, with an average rating of 7.7/10. The site's consensus is warm, affectionate, and sweet but not cloying, The Lunchbox is a clever crowd pleaser from first-time director Ritesh Batra. The review aggregators, Bolly Movie Reviews and Review Gang both mentioned that The Lunchbox received the highest aggregate score of any Indian film, earning a 4.38/5 and an 10/10 respectively. House.co.in rated this movie 4.5 out of 5. The rating has calculated by average rating of all popular Bollywood critic websites' ratings. Critic Rajiv Mazand of CNN gave a rating of 5/5 to the film, stating, "The greatest love stories are the ones that make you root for the protagonists to come together, despite their destinies. This film illustrates how love transforms the unlikeliest of people." Pratim D. Gupta of The Telegraph gave 2 thumbs up to The Lunchbox, calling it as much a moving and muted love story as it is an evocative portrayal of loneliness. Tarun Nadash of Bollywood Hungama gave the movie a 4/5, stating, "A well-told old-fashioned romance, The Lunchbox gracefully unknots the trials, tribulations, fears and hopes of everyday people sans the glamour that the city of Mumbai has become synonymous with." Karan Anshuman of the Mumbai Mirror also went with a perfect score of 5/5, saying the film was one of the best films to come out of India in a long time. Raja Sen of Rediff.com praised the film further, giving another perfect score of 5/5 and offered particular compliments to the director Ritesh Batra, stating Batra, who has also written The Lunchbox, has allowed his smashing actors tremendous room to improvise, all the while himself sketching in nuanced details about the city, its food fairs, and the many disparities Mumbai is crammed with. Filmmaker critic Khalid Muhammad of the Deccan Chronicle said, "What stays in the mind at the end of The Lunchbox is pretty much what stays in mind at the end of a memorable set by Jasmine not their lapses but the heights they scale." Aditya Grover of Youth Times gave it 4/5 stars and said, "The Lunchbox is delicious and delightful. If you are Euro unregistered trademark in the mood to witness genuinely moving cinema, you are Euro unregistered trademark in for a treat. The delectable taste of this Lunchbox remains in your mouth much after your Euro unregistered trademark left the theatre. Go for it." Subhash Kajavskbeliworldnews.com gave 4/5 stars to the film, stating, "The Lunchbox is desolation, loneliness and perfection." Trisha Gupta in the Sunday Guardian wrote, "The Lunchbox is a lovely little film. But it does tick all the boxes that might appeal to festival audiences: quaint Asian urbanism, Indian home cooking, romance. It provides local color, without being demandingly untranslatable." Oscar selection controversy. The Lunchbox was considered by many people throughout the year to be a lock as India's selection for the 86th Academy Awards Best Foreign Film category, with many critics unanimously praising it and voting for it to be the representative film. Celebrity director Karan Johar also put his support behind the film, saying all kinds of audience can connect with it, and yet within the parameters of love story it is completely unusual. You feel all the love in the world for the protagonists, and the unusual aspect of it is they haven't met. However, the selection committee of the Film Federation of India deliberated on September 17, 2013 and decided to send the Gujarati film The Good Road instead. This decision sparked outrage from many supporters of The Lunchbox, including its cast and crew. The film's producer Anurag Kashyap quickly took to Twitter and expressed his disgust, saying, "I don't know who the Federation is, but it goes to show the complete lack of understanding to make films that can travel across borders." He later deleted both his Twitter and Facebook accounts, saying, "This is a moment of defeat for me, and for independent cinema, because, for once, our chances were great." Karan Johar also said he felt very disappointed that such a wonderful chance at Oscar glory with The Lunchbox was spoiled. Guneet Monga, The Lunchbox's other producer, said she was flabbergasted as to how the Federation could select a movie that didn't even have an American distributor, and also listed the number of global festivals and appreciation her film received, concluding that it sadly and supposedly wasn't enough for the FFI. In an interview with Siddharth Sivakumar of Tunpaya, Gautam Ghose, the chairman of the committee, revealed, "Personally I liked The Lunchbox very much. But eventually the 18-member jury supported The Good Road. Now I can say that some people from Bombay felt that the basic premise of The Lunchbox was wrong. because the Dabbawalas never do such mistakes. Films are after all works of fiction, with the right to cinematic liberty. Although Lunchbox was my personal favorite, but as a chairman one should not impose his or her choice on others. And as you know, this became suddenly a big controversy. And I think the media was again to some extent responsible for this decision. Because every day during the deliberation or the screenings, the media projected Lunchbox as the chosen one. It's my assumption that the members probably thought, my God! If the media has already taken the decision, then why we are here? It was a Chomskyan manufacturing consent Lunchbox, Lunchbox, Lunchbox every day. So the members, who were all very important people from the industry, had an opposite impulse. I don't know, but maybe that's the way it happened. Accolades. See also, Bollywood films of 2013, references. External links, official website, The Lunchbox at the Internet Movie Database, The Lunchbox at Bollywood Hungama.